Okay, here's the beginning of part 2 of what I call Happiness is a Warm Gun. Hey, did you like that part 1? Did you like the close-up videos we did of the actual gun itself? That was my goal, was to just show you the gun, the recoil, the flame coming out of the gun, and particularly, did you notice the smoke coming out of all parts of the gun? Very interesting. I like the way it came out. We're going to get better at it. This is part 2 of Another Day at the Range. Happiness is a Warm Gun. And I just wanted to say briefly what my opinion is after shooting these 3 particular guns in part 1 are. That we shot, as you know by now, if you've seen part 1 of course, the HK P2000 .40 caliber. And I thought it was interesting to have a female shooter who's never shot a gun before and to see what it looks like. I mean, close up, see how her hands handled it, see how she handled the recoil. I thought she did pretty well. I'm not just saying that because she's my wife, but she did do pretty well. She enjoyed it. Now she's excited to go back pretty regularly. But not one of the guns in part 1 jammed or had any hiccups. We had 0 problems. In part 2 it's going to be a little bit different. We did have a problem with the Sega, and you'll see that coming up. This part 2 is going to rock your world. This is a little bit better than part 1, I think. But anyway, the 3 guns we shot in part 1, the HK, the .40, just perfect. It's got a beautiful trigger. It's a different type of trigger. It's not a 1911 trigger, that's for sure. It's a long, slow, and then bang. So I got a lot of cleaning to do tonight, and that's what I'm about to do, is clean 7 guns. But HK, perfect. This 1911, the Sig Sauer, I gotta say, is probably the best 1911 I've shot in my life, and I've borrowed a lot of buddies' 1911s and shot them all. Not all of them, but I shot a lot of 1911s. This really is, I think, the smoothest 1911 produced possibly. I mean, I never shot a Wilson Combat or anything like that, but this is pretty sweet. So perfect, no jams. I shot it accurately. I was happy with it. And then this one here, the Sig Mosquito, the .22 caliber. We didn't shoot it too much. My wife shot it actually a little bit better than me. If you look closely in part 1, I only shot about 7 rounds through it. I was too excited to get to the big caliber. Okay, we're going to shoot an HK USP Compact 45. As you see, it's the 2-tone version. I have an M6X tactical laser illuminator. And here we go. Let's shoot this 45. We're hot. We're hot. Hot on the range. Hit it. Bullseye. Whatever gun this is. I don't know. I love each gun more than the last. They're all great. Okay, I'm empty. Too bad. Good shot there. Okay, next shooter, taking a shot at the left here. First time I've ever shooting an HK 45. Here we go. Okay, here she goes.
Want to try it?
Not much recoil for a 45. She's handling it pretty well. Alright, you're empty. Pull up the target, shooter. Okay, we know what this is. A Colt Delta Elite 10mm. One of the first guns I ever purchased. I bought this back in 1987. The year that Colt put this on the market. And this gun is what kept the 10mm alive. I have a review on the 10mm. If you haven't seen it, take a look. I did a whole story on the 10mm. Jeff Cooper designed the round in 1983. And this gun is what put the band on the map. And the FBI adopted this gun. And I believe the year is 1986. It was after the Miami shootout. And this is the Colt government model. This is the first time I'm shooting this gun in at least 12 years. Let's see how she does. Okay. Let's see what the flame looks like coming out of this gun. It'll rack it. Woohoo! Not bad. Not bad. Man, does this have some firepower. Oh my God, is there a flame coming out of that, Mr. Straight Shooter? Myself. Woo. I see it.
Smoke, yeah.
I know. Look at that target. Target felt that. That's the best group I shot all day. Shot the hell out of that guy. 10 millimeter. I wish more manufacturers designed more 10 millimeters. This is Straight Shooter. You're gonna like this gun. All right, cut it out. Okay, here she goes. Her first time in her life shooting a 10 millimeter gun. Happens to be a 1911. Here she goes. Oh, that's got a kick on it. She's laughing. She wasn't expecting that. Oh. Yeah, now she's getting a handle on it. What a nice gun that 1911 is. Oh. Shooting like a charm after being shot for 12 years. Ooh, that hit me in the hand, that brass. Alright, she's empty. Pull up your target, shooter. Pull up your target. Hey, hey, look at that. Look at the size of those holes of that 10 millimeter. Look at that. She's laughing. She did really well. She did really, really well. Big holes. Wouldn't want to be on the other side of that bullet. Okay, we're going to go to another gun. And I think you'll get a kick out of the next gun we're going to shoot. It's a small caliber, but you might like it. Okay, we know what this is, a 500 Magnum. The shooter's not messing around today. We're going to be doing some... This is what I carry, by the way. I wear a wig, and I put this on my neck. And this is what I carry behind my neck. Do you believe that? Actually, I put this in my underwear. I conceal this gun in my underwear. It's a good spot for it. Let's load her up. Hey, look at that. There is a 10 millimeter. Focus in on that 10 millimeter. And here are the 500 Magnums going into the cylinder. Colt 5. These are pricey. We're hot. We already got a 500 Magnum that's hot. I think I'll shoot it single action instead of double. Please focus in on the flame and the gun, because I think this might throw off a flame. What do you think, guys? Oh my God! Buttons! Oh. Okay, we're gonna do a couple more. That surprised me. Let's do another one. I'm not gonna let her shoot this gun. God!
105 howitzer?
Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum. Just caught everybody's attention on the range. You need triple ear protection for this. This would break her wrist. I'm not gonna let her shoot it.
I don't want to do that one.
I'll shoot all 5 rounds myself. Jesus, nuts. Holy, going to the range just took off and went the other way. We only got 2 more rounds left, gentlemen. They all went away like 30 feet because of the sound. Holy cow. I actually hit a bullseye. Oh my God. Oh, did you get that on tape? Oh, I think I got 1 more left. I hope that's it. This has some kick to it, baby. This is very short. Stub nose. The ES version. You can't buy these anymore. I'm glad I bought it. God! Holy cow! Smith & Wesson 500. Live at the range. Whew. Look at my hand. It's red. Everyone's coming back to their booths. That was hilarious. They all scattered when I fired this baby. How did I shoot it? I don't even care, as long as I hit paper. Well, I didn't do too bad. I got 1 bullseye. Oh boy. That was at about 50 yards. Oh my God. My hand hurts. That would have probably broke your wrist. No exaggeration. That probably might have broke your nose. The recoil of the gun would have hit you right in the face. I've shot that in the past, but you know, when 6 months goes by, forget the power. I can't believe they built this thing. This is the ES version. Let's of course take out the empties. And I did a 3-part special on this gun, the 500 ES, and the marketing is for it to take down bears if you're in Alaska and you're fishing on the streams. I think this will take anything down on the planet. This was amazing. Cow, oh, my hands, I don't know if I can shoot the shot. I don't know if I got anything left in me after shooting this. That was exciting. We got 1 more gun to show you, and I'm whipped. 1 more gun. How'd you like those range videos? Pretty cool, huh? Before I check out, I wanted to give you my impression of the Smith & Wesson 500 Magnum. Oh my gosh, that was a blast, no pun intended, to shoot. And I don't know how to verbalize it. It's almost impossible to put in words. You've got to shoot this gun at least 1 time in your life. You cannot buy the ES version unless you find a used one out there somewhere. If it's in your budget, I highly recommend it, just for the fun factor of shooting it at the range. Only the 5 rounds is all you can really handle in 1 day, honestly. I didn't go on to shoot the Sega shotgun because my hand and wrist was actually, it took a beating from those 5 rounds. So I'm going to save the Sega shotgun for a different day, which will be next Thursday. I'm going to the range again. But my impression of this gun is just absolutely amazing. To use for personal protection, I have the Winchester Platinum 500 grain hollow points. I was shooting, I believe, 400 grains full metal jacket in the range, but for personal protection I would put, and I do keep, 500 grain platinum hollow points. And if you're going to use this for personal protection, you better hit them on the first shot. What I will say is, you know, you hear that story, which is true. If you're shooting somebody with a 9mm and they're on drugs and they're all whacked out, they're coming at you, that might even affect them for, you know, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, and they can still keep coming at you. But if you shoot someone within 6 feet in the torso with this gun, that does not hold true in my opinion. They are going backwards 10 feet. I mean, this gun, the concussion went through my whole entire body. You couldn't tell. You saw the gun go up, but my whole shoulder was pushed back, and the concussion went right down on my toes, through every nerve ending in my body. It was really just an amazing thing to do. So, well, I'll bring this out to the range each time I make a video and put 5 rounds through it. Alright, this is the end of part 2. Check it out. You guys are the best. Please sub so I can get over this time limit. Straight shooter checking out.